Hey, I'm back for the assembly of this block. So this month's block looks like this. And so this is what we would, if you look at it and kind of dissect it, it's really what we call a 9-patch block because it is comprised of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 3.5-inch squares. Okay, so we're going to break this down and work at each 3.5-inch square. There are 3 different ones. So you have your 4 corners, they're all pieced the same. You have the 4 middle ones that are all pieced the same. And then you have your center 9 patch, which is pieced. And then after you get all those little 3.5-inch squares pieced, then you can put it together and it goes together really well. So I wanted to show you that. The actual pictures of the blocks are already posted. So if you want to go out and look at the fabrics where they all fall for the other 2 colors, you can do that. So this is where we're heading. So if you were to dissect this into 9 little squares, you will see. So the first thing we're going to do in the instructions is we're going to work on this one down here, which is the most complicated one. Once you get those 4 done, you will be in good shape. So if we look at it blown up, you can see here, we have this, which is a 2.5-inch square, which you've already cut. Then we have these 2 pieces that we are going to strip piece together, and we have these 2 pieces that will be strip pieced together. So we'll take this when we have it made and sew it onto here, and then we'll take this when we have it made and sew it onto here, and the resulting square will be 3.5 inches. Okay? So to get a better visual of that, so you know where we're heading, I separated the block, so you've already got these cut. We're going to make this, then we're going to make this, and then we'll put it together. Okay? So the first thing your instructions tell you to do is to take a print 1 strip and a print 2 strip, 1.5-inch strip. So there they are, print 1 and print 2. And you're going to put them right sides together, and I did not trim them down to 6.5 inches. If I had, they would be the same size, but I didn't need to. And I am going to sew the whole strip 1/4 inch all the way down. Okay? Then I'm going to press this, and I showed you in the previous video how to press, and the resulting, this is what we call a strip set, looks like this. Now I need to trim this into 4 1.5 by 3.5. This should measure, 2.5 at this point, and we're going to cut it into 4 1.5-inch segments. Okay, so I'm going to put it down here, and I'm going to use my square ruler, and I've got my 1.5-inch line. The first thing though I need to do, like always, is clean cut an edge. So I find a straight line on my ruler and I'm putting it on the fold. We want all our cuts to be perpendicular to the fold. And I'm going to clean cut an edge here so that I have a nice straight edge. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to find my 1.5-inch line, which is right here. It's nice and black. And I'm going to put my line here on the fold, and so I have it nice and perpendicular, and I'm going to cut 1, and I'm going to line it up again. Now if you can't get, if the strip set is a little crooked and you can't keep this perpendicular to this, then clean cut the edge again. So I'll show you. So say this one has gotten a little crooked, I can flip it over and put that line on there, slide it in, trim a little bit more off to make sure it's clean and square, and then I can put this one down, making sure again, my biggest concern is that this is on the fold and this is at 1.5. So I now have 4 of these. That should measure 1.5 by 2.5, just like that. Okay, so that is step 1 of this little square, and we'll put them up on my little felt board here. Okay, good. Now I wanted to show you this because this feels a little weird, but step 2 is we're going to take and we're going to sew these onto the 2.5-inch square. Now when you do that, you want to put this down, and we're going to sew to the top. And we want, I have to do it backwards, we want the, how did I describe it? You're going to want the print 1 located to the top right, okay? So however you see that, you want this one to the, if you're putting it on top, to the top right. And then your print 2 would be on the left. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So that is going to be your unit so far. And you're going to have 4 of these. Okay? Then the next thing you're going to make is we're going to strip piece again, and we're going to take the print 2, 2.5 by 6.5. So this is nice and fat. And we're going to take print 1, 1.5 by 6.5, like that. And we're going to put these right sides together. And again, I didn't trim them down to 6.5. I left them the size they were. And we're going to sew your 1/4 inch seam. And then you're going to press. And so that's what this one looks like, which we haven't done one where one side is fatter than the other, but we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to clean cut this edge, and then we're going to cut it into 4 1.5 inch segments. Okay, 1.5. I'm on the fold. Oops, I just moved it. Okay. So that's what this one looks like. So it's, notice the bottom is bigger than the top. We've not done that before. And then this one, you're going to come and you're going to sew it onto this one so that the light one is at the bottom. And there you have, so that's all it takes. There are no seams to match, which is always fun. And you're going to make 4 of these, and these will be your 4 corners of, not your 4 corners, the middles of the block. So it looked complicated, but look how fast that went. You're just strip piecing these and sewing them on. The only trick is going to be making sure you get the 2 colors in the right place. Okay? So you're going to have 4 of those. Super easy peasy. Okay, now your next step is you're going to take a light 1. Now in step 3, just FYI, when we cut these in the instructions, I said they would measure 1.5 by 6.5. I was wrong. It's 1.5 by 3.5, and that's pretty obvious. This 6.5 would be double this size, and it wouldn't fit on here. So. Just FYI, somebody pointed that out to me. So we're going to take light 1, and then we're going to take a light 2, 1.5 by 3.5, and we're just going to sew those together to create, those are your 4 corner units. Super easy again. You're just going to put it right sides together, press, and then you'll have that unit. So that's unit 1 and unit 2. Okay? Got that? Now we're going to do the center 9 patch. Okay, so the first thing on the center 9 patch is to take the color print 3, 1.5 by 3.5, and you're going to put in there a print 1, 1.5 by 3.5, and you're going to sew that strip set together. So it's like a rail fence. Okay, then you're going to trim this down into 2 1.5 by 3.5 inch segments. Now that I'm going to show you in a picture. So what we just made is we have this, and we're going to cut 2 1.5 inch pieces, and that is going to give us this and this. Okay? And then the last thing is probably not the most fun thing, is we have to sew the 2 1.5 inch light 3s and a 1.5 inch print 1 together like that, and that's going to create this center. And then you sew this together as a 9 patch. Okay, so now we have the 4 corners, we have the 4 middles outsides, and now we have the 9 patch that goes in the middle, and that brings us to putting the block together. Did I not print one of the whole block? Thought I did. I put it down. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and put it together. A couple of things to pay attention to is notice that print 2 changes its position as it goes around and you sew it in. So pay attention to that. And then also pay attention, this changes position as you put it in. And then your 9 patch goes in the center. And that's your block for this month. It should measure 9.5 inches. Now, several of you brought me your blocks going, it doesn't measure 9.5 inches, and you're struggling a little bit matching seams. Next month, our focus is going to be why does it not measure 9.5 inches, and pinning and matching your pinning your match points first to make sure they're working, and then sewing the block together to get accurate. The important thing is you're having fun, and trust me that you will, no matter what size these blocks are. We're going to be adding some borders to them at the end, and you're going to be able to re-square them up, and you will never know they all don't measure 9.5 inches perfectly. It's supposed to be fun. It's not, there's no quilt police in our organization, so have some fun with it, be happy with your results, and watch how you improve as you go. And that's it for this one.